Thanks for watching Modern Day Bum Living. Demolition continues.
Back to the grind, the demolition time. Peeling back this onion. This is definitely an onion, though. Yeah, here's a picture of the frame. I'm gonna cut all these cross members now. They're all rotten out. Some of this piece didn't even have to cut it. Just grab and move back and forth a couple times, and it was bang, bang. It was right off. Rusted, completely rusted. You can see on this video there. So, but some I had to cut it. So I went to Home Depot and I picked up this big boy here, a Sawzall, heavy duty one. And I was able to cut some of this cross member out. It took about a day to cut these cross members and remove it. It was not easy. It was a lot of tedious work, but yeah, I got it done. Yeah, this is Nikki. So she's cutting the screws that is holding the shell to the old cross member so we can remove the old one out of there. And then this shell, at this point, the shell is being supported by the 2x4s that you see on the back. I didn't put those there at first, and I started cutting, and the whole shell sank about 3 inches, and I was like, oh my god, the only thing supporting the shell right now are those two 4x4 that you see on the back.
So now all the cross members are removed and we are bare bones. I mean, we are like Flintstone style over here. Our feet are touching the ground. But now on to our next project, which took us about a week to complete. Just removing the rest off this beast. Take a look at this. So I'm going to walk you through the process, or should I say processes, that we took to remove this and what worked best for us. So for the first step, it was actually quite easy and enjoyable. What I did is I took a spatula and I just scraped the inside. So there was literally this crust of rust, and I just went in and just peeled it off. So this part was creepily satisfying, but I had never seen anything like this before. I do have to say before I continue that please make sure that you have protective gear on, so you have protective glasses and you're wearing a mask. And I also recommend that you're fully clothed to make sure that you don't get all those particles embedded in your skin, because this is very toxic and definitely not safe for you to inhale. So please remember that if you are ever working with rust. Okay, so I continue to take off this crust-like rust all over, which that took quite a bit of time. But once we took off that layer, we played around with a lot of different solutions, a lot of rust dissolvers, and most of them didn't work. But we found this navel jelly, which I find the name to be such a weird name, but it actually worked the best. And we poured that all over, and then we let it sit for an hour or two, and then we went back to peeling it off. And that literally was the lifesaver. We did use WD-40 as well, and we used many cans of both. But and they both came in handy at the right time. But if I had to choose one, I would definitely do that jelly navel, because we took about, I think it was 6 to 8 bottles of that. But what we did is we poured it all over. We let it sit for an hour. We went and scraped everything in and out, making sure we got every corner. And then we went and we hosed everything down. Once we hosed everything down, we let it dry, waited another hour, and then we went back to coating it again. Once we did that a few times, and remember, this is a few days now, what I did is I had this drill, and then I just put a bit on the end of it, and then same thing, it had that jelly that sat, and this time I was able to just really polish it up and remove the remainder of the rust. So when you look at this, it was hard because it's bouncing around everywhere, This is where having that protective gear is super important, because you get so dusty and so dirty and you don't even realize it. So, but this part it was interesting. We did have a few different heads, placements that we can put on there, because when you're working on the inside and in the small little parts, it's hard to get those corners. So make sure that you get those. It's a 3-pack. I'll link it. I'll put a picture on here so that you're able to see what it is that we got. So if you ever encounter this, then you'll know what will make your job so much easier. If you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please comment below, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching Modern Day Bum Living.